Hey guys, so yesterday I played the sub battle for Samay Raina, and right before my game he said, अरे भाई नेशनल मीटिंग में मिस किया तो कितनी उड़ाई भाई स्ट्रीम पे भाई ऐसे नहीं अब खुद अच्छे से खेलना एंड आई रिप्लाइड विद अरे ऑब्वियसली कुछ स्ट्रेस ही नहीं है भाई जीत जाएंगे यार बड़े प्यार से जीत जाएंगे बट आई लॉस्ट भाई मेरे ब्लंडर पे तो बहुत वीडियो डालते हो अब अपने पे भी डालो भाई एंड thus here is the video of how I lost in Samay Raina sub battle when I was a piece up. Well, the game started with the London system. Why? God knows. And after d4, d5, bishop f4, c5, e3, takes, 96, c3, bishop f5, 93, all developing moves so far. Knight f6, knight d2, e6, bishop e2, bishop d6, bishop g3, castles, knight h4. I really want to take this bishop because that would give me a slight edge with the advantage of the two bishops. And my opponent played bishop e4, which is a very irritating move to face, to be honest, because I don't want to necessarily immediately capture the bishop, because if I capture the bishop, then pawn takes, and this knight is a bit stranded, and it's not so easy for white to somehow play this. So that's why I simply castled first, and now rook c8, and now rook e1, bishop g3, h g3, queen b6, queen b3. If now white takes on b3, I think I would simply take back with the pawn, and I would open up my a file, so that's perfectly fine. So queen c7, and now knight f3. So my knight is not doing much on the side of the board. It makes a lot of sense to bring the knight back into the game, and now I can consider capturing on e4 at some time. So h6, the bishop is headed back to h7, bishop f1, bishop f5, bishop e2. So I am just trying to pass some time. I know my blitz skills, especially considering the time management, is not so great, so I'm trying to manage my clock as well as I can here. After queen d1, queen e7, bishop f1, rook d8, and the position is very solid for both sides. There's not much going on in the position. It's just a position where you just improve your pieces gradually. So rook c1, a6, a3, b5, and here someone was commentating, I saw after the game, that bishop d3 was a good move, but bishop d3 actually leads to knight f2, so that would have been a clear mistake, and black is completely winning. So after queen e2, knight a5, queen e3, knight d2, knight d2, and now we can see clearly black is slightly better, because after knight c4 I am kind of forced to capture. Knight takes, pawn takes, and suddenly the b2 pawn is the clear weakness for white here, and black will simply double up, even triple up on the b file, and try to put a lot of pressure on this pawn. The good thing is I do have 3 squares where I can save these pieces. For example, rook d2, rook e2, queen f2. But of course, there's bishop d3 at the end, so black should be better, of course. And after rook d1, rook b8, rook d2, rook b3, all good moves by black so far. Black is really better here. And now queen f4. So my simple idea is to play queen takes f5. I have realized the position has gone south, and it's time to play for some tactics. And my opponent immediately fell into it. He played rook b8, and queen takes f5 is a simple piece. Now I am completely winning. But as you can see on the clock, I have 41 seconds. My opponent has 75. That's almost double my time. So let's see how it goes. So queen b7, queen c2, a4, rook e2, a3, queen c1, queen b6, rook c2, queen b7. I'm trying to bring the queen here sometimes. Rook d2, queen e7, bishop e2, rook b7, and some normal moves, improving the pieces. And finally I played g4, trying to open up the king side. And I had already pre-moved this move, so I lost this pawn. But still, after g3, I think white is doing well, because, well, he's a piece up. And after rook b6, king g2, rook b3, rook d2, I again start to move really fast and try to attack the g5 pawn now. And luckily he plays queen f6, and after rook e5, this pawn is really hanging, and he can't really defend it anymore. So rook takes g5, and white is completely winning now. So queen b6, rook h5, king f8, not a great move, rook h8, king e7, queen g5, and now I was feeling I'm going to win this game. I have 11 seconds, he has 24. This much time control I am used to managing somehow, especially because my bullet rating is around 2450. But somehow, after king d7, rook b8, queen g7, queen e8, and rook e2, I should have continued with g5, which is the most obvious move, but somehow I started panicking in this structure because I had 9 seconds, and I played some random crappy moves like queen e5 and g5, and I exchanged queens, which is not a great deal here for white. Maybe in a classical game it's good, but because black's king is weak, you should actually go for some sort of attack maybe. I'm not even surprised if bishop d5 would work, and that's the kind of position this is. So after queen f6, queen trade, we went into this position where with a couple of pre-moves, I simply lost my bishop, and we reached this position where all moves are pre-moves. Everything is a pre-move. Like, it's insane. It's just insane. Almost everything is a pre-move. The position is equal now, and white is better now, and yeah, white is winning now, and it's insane. It's insane. I'm winning with the f pawn, but unfortunately, he started checking me, and I could not manage the time, and I lost on time here, guys. So with this, my opponent won the game, and it was very disappointing. But of course, I was the Virendra Sehwag of this team, guys. So Sehwag हर बार छक्के मारता है, and कई उसको पता होता है पीछे राहुल द्रविड़ आने वाला है, तो कोई चक्कर नहीं है. He can go for the win. And of course, Samay's team lower boards came to the party and they won all their games. And Samay managed to win this convincingly, the score of 11-4 against ChessBrah, and his team won. By the way, guys, if you want to check out how Samay blundered mate in 1, the link of the video is in the description.